Hey, welcome to another 164 custom diecast NASCAR video. Taking a break just for a minute to kind of show you guys some of the things that I've been working, something that I bought at Hobby Lobby last night. Welcome. Wednesday, March 24th. I have just completed decaling these two Ryan Blaney cars for Mr. DT. I see that NASCAR Authentics has released a Sylvania Talladega Win Ryan Blaney car. I don't think it's gonna be as nice as this, but anyways, that is this car is actually now completed, and I'm in the sealing process there. Same thing here. I just put the rear spoiler decals on, and I've said this before, I don't normally use the decal spoiler or the spoiler decals on a car, but for this, if I can get this far away so it'll focus, this particular lime green decal that's really large for this car works out really nice, and it's a decent match to my paint pen that I have, so I went ahead and used it. So here is an example. I'm making another one back here of how I pre-paint it. So I just go over these edges here on the side, on the top, and just a little bit around the back, and apply the decals over top of that, because the decals don't cover those areas. And while I'm at it, I do this across the front. The decals on these cars are, they're just not sufficient to cover that full lip on these Mustangs, as you can see here. So having that lime green Sharpie paint pen is, in my mind, absolutely necessary in order to make this car. And you can see how well of a match that is to the decal. And it's not perfect, right? It's not a perfect match, but when you're matching decals to paint, you're not going to get too much closer than that. So yeah. And then of course I also did a little bit of the blue. Here I used the deep blue, the Rust-Oleum deep blue, to pre-paint these areas here across this, and you can see that. And that's the advantage of doing a couple of these cars around the same time, because that of course I could come back and watch my video if I wanted to, but just having that knowledge of precisely where it needs to be painted and where it doesn't, right? You got to be careful not to get too much paint up in this area, because that's not covered by the decal, and you got a mess on your hands. So that's the advantage of doing a couple cars the same design together, just to have that knowledge and to carry that over. So yeah, so Mr. DT, I'll have these done here in another day or two and be able to get them out to you. Then I should be sending this out. If it's not today, I emailed you. It'll be tomorrow. So I don't want to open this up because I might run into a problem. One of the things, well, I'll tell you what, this is what I'll do. I'll just open it up this far. So how I open up these things is I get either my tweezers or this blade in the back side of it, right, and I press against this and I pull it towards me to pop it open, so I don't rip this part of the box, right? When you go to get these things out, if you are going to take them out, you got to be careful. You really do. Especially with custom-made cars. Maybe the Lionel cars, they don't chip as easily or scuff as easily. But unfortunately, the processes that I use, the paints and things that I use, it's not going to adhere like a full-blown manufacturing process that they have over in China with what they're doing. So what I mean is, when you open this up, actually it was when I was putting it in, you see this big you see this big lip in the front here. This big piece here, this big plastic piece in the front. This car is sitting down in there pretty significantly. So on this particular car, you need to slide this thing out like this. Okay, slide it out to get the car out. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just reach in there and grab the car and lift it up over that lip here. But in this case, that lip is so significant, what happens is the roof lines rub against the top of this thing here, and they rubbed off. So I had to go back and repaint the black roof lines on this thing. And that was when I was pushing it in. And so, you know, it's just a lesson learned, right? You need to take the car out like this to get it out of the package or to put it back in the package. Don't lift or try to shove it in, because it will mar the car. And again, you know, it might be a little thing to some people, but I'm trying to make it completely perfect. And I've spent a lot of time trying to get the car to the state that it's in. Packaging it up, if I damage the car, then I've screwed myself, and I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to do that, which is what I did, and that's what I'm showing you guys. So be careful. If you're handling these customs, if you're taking them out of the box to display them in some other fashion, just be mindful of that. Some of you may already know that, but that's just a lesson learned. You have to really treat these things like fine china, very fine china, with great care, and be very cautious with it. Banging it against something, you know, it's going to get scratched, it's going to get chipped, and that's just the way it is. So you have to be super careful with that. Okay. So, you know, I'm working a few other cars. I've got the Stenhouse here. I've got the Danica Patrick for Mr. GV there. Mr. RA, getting ready to at least cutting out the decals for the Blaney Western Star. And, of course, you wanted a Blaney Dent Wizard as well, so that's that. I'm making a second Western Star and also a 2019 Blaney Duracell. That was a playoff car, and you can see I've pre-painted that a little bit as well, spoiler and the front lower valence, because that was a playoff car. It also gets the fun little windshield wiper, so I pulled out a staple as that seems to work best for that process. Okay, let me give a shout out real quick to Mr. Billy Ray. Appreciate your subscription. Haven't seen you in a while. I think, and I'm trying to remember, Billy Ray's probably the only person that's been in this basement well, there's been a few people in the basement, right? But Billy Ray's been in my basement. and so I was showing him around. We used to work together, and it was just good to hear from you, and appreciate you watching the videos and subscribing. You know, Billy Ray did some designs for me, and I in return, you know, put together a couple cars for him, and also did some applying of decals on some custom products he was doing. And so yeah, it's good to make your acquaintance once again, Billy. Hope your family's doing well, and God bless you, man. Good to hear from you. Okay, so last night I went to Hobby Lobby with my family, various things, but I was looking for. Okay, so there was a discussion, question about confetti on a NASCAR car. And so, you know, there's a few 164s out there now that have confetti on them from Lionel. And I really don't like the look at all, to be honest with you. I think it looks, okay, I'll just say it. I just think it looks dumb. But there are some people that really like that race-winning, victory lane, you know, celebration car finish. And so I said, okay, you know, let me kind of bite the bullet and just start looking into what options I could have, because, you know, I would need to replicate the confetti somehow, some way. So we went to Hobby Lobby looking for that. And after a lot of different products, the best thing I could come up with in the store last night was this product. It's just called Glitter. It's called Spangles Holographic Mix. It's a 6-pack. And the issue that I had was, and it's a Hobby Lobby product made in Taiwan, but the issue that I was finding through most of the products was they're all kind of like either circular or hexagon or whatever. And I was looking for a product that was kind of square or rectangle. And this is the only thing that came close. And obviously it's very glittery. But, well, I don't need to open this up because I've already dumped a little bit on my little thing here. Right there. So, this is the blue. And it comes in silver, although that's very reflective, gold, green, purple, or whatever you call it, rose color, and then red, and then of course the blue. So this is just like a little splinter. That's what it looks like, a little splinter. And I'm going to try it. We'll see how it turns out. I also noticed that, well, okay, so for Michael McDowell's car, Daytona 500, the confetti that they threw out onto the car was red, white, and blue. And so, okay, so I would want to mix a little bit of the red, the silver, and the blue together to do that. And I've seen some other, I was doing some Google searches for just some confetti on NASCAR, and there was one that was kind of like, had like black and gold confetti. And I guess it depends on the race sponsor, the race itself, whatever, right? Whatever colors they choose. Anyways, so this is what I'm going to be toying around with here. The thing that I want to request your help with is, if there is a product that you're familiar with that can replicate that confetti, please post it in the comments below. And again, I'm looking for something, that's either square or rectangle, not the circle stuff, not the little hexagon stuff or octagon stuff. I want it to look exactly as much as possible as the confetti, looked like it was on the car, Now, I don't know. I've been looking around whether it's like, mini confetti, square, fine confetti, whatever. But if you guys could help me with that, I'd appreciate it. Just to get some different ideas to try to make or to try to make a confetti car truly look like a nice finish. I'm also, so that's one thing. The other thing I'm thinking about application is I probably need to use the clear sealer and immediately, while that's still wet, put the confetti on it so that it sticks to the car. I'm still thinking about how that needs to happen because the clear sealer I have dries real quick. And so I would need to put it down and sprinkle the stuff on it within seconds and to get it to hold in place. And so that's going to be a little bit of a process, because how I sprinkle it and exactly how much comes up, right, or off. And I don't want to do too much. I don't want to do too little. Well, it's obviously better to do too little than too much. But that application is going to be interesting. So more to follow on that. But I did want to share that it's not that I don't want to do the process of making a confetti car. It's just I don't personally like the look of it, so I haven't done it in the past. But if I can get over that hurdle, and I'm working on it, bear with me, then maybe I can try to replicate it. But the other thing is, because I just want it to look so much like it was on the track, even this glitter confetti is not really ideal because it is glittery, and what typically goes on a car is not glitter, it's actual confetti. It's kind of a just a regular paper product, and and to try to replicate that without this sheen and with the exact design, kind of like it's obviously not square, but it's more of a rectangle. This is more of it's close to a rectangle, but it's still just a little bit too long in my look. Yeah, I was there for probably a good 45-50 minutes just looking at their products for this glitter confetti and driving my wife and girls crazy. So anyways, okay, so Mr. MB, I got your Ty Dillon car done. I was printing off some new labels and got that done, and it's going to come in this Kyle Larson box, but that is ready to go. Let's see, earlier this morning I put a little bit of the JB Weld on Mr. MH's Kenseth car. I want to let that dry just to make sure everything stays in place. The next step will be to use JB Weld to get it to adhere to this body, right on those posts there and on the front, because this is going in the case, and so I need to make sure that that is securely fastened so this top doesn't go flying off and just wreck the car. Do not want that to happen. So I'm using the JB Weld to get that done. All right, and then lastly, well, I shouldn't say lastly. So I had a little. I shouldn't say a little. I had to redip this Trump metallic car. So I'm trying to do a metallic Trump Corey LaJoie car. I've done a couple gold cars, and I wanted to do a metallic one, not silver, but a metallic. And so what I did was I painted that bottom. I'm doing all the interior pieces kind of a black and silver. I did this here with the black regularly, outline the plastic pieces, all silver on those pieces, so that's done. I told you about spray painting those rims, but I didn't have any success with the metallic paint. It's very finicky paint, very finicky, that Rust-Oleum metallic that I want to use. It's very reflective too. So I really like it, but it's just really hard to get a nice finish on it. You saw me trying to paint it in that other video, and it was a mess because I got it on super thick, and it just didn't work out. So I primed it with this gray automotive primer. It's the professional automotive primer that I have, and I just did that this morning. So I'm going to let that dry and then give a shot of the metallic, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna have to be real careful with that to try to make that work well. So that's what's coming for those of you who are interested in the Corey LaJoie Trump unique schemes that I've been doing. Yeah, kind of funny. I was going to say silver because he came in second place, right? Because you have the gold. And then silver's the second place medal. And, yeah, Trump got the second place. By hook or by crook, he got the second place. Okay. All right. So, lastly, I have received airmail from Australia. So excited to open this up. Let me back this up just a little bit. Give me some more room to walk through this pattosplace package. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it's today. Today's Wednesday. I ordered this 3 weeks ago. So yeah, 3 weeks. Glad to see that from Mr. Patto. Okay. What do we got here? 2016 Kyle Busch Pedigree. Mr. JT. There you go. That's interesting. So you can see how you've got Pedigree, but then on the sides you have this P hanging over here, and then you have the E hanging over there, and it looks like it's into the Goodyear. That kind of stinks. It's not in the Goodyear here, it's in the Goodyear here. Oh well. Everything else is pretty straightforward. I had the yellow background removed, as you can see. But I might actually, I have some extra Goodyear decals. I might have to use them, because if I don't and I want to use this, I'm going to have to match up the decal with, or the E, right, that's connected to the Goodyear decal onto that E and get it to line up perfectly. I don't know. Everything else though looks fabulous. Looks really detailed. It looks really nice. I have to admit the Western decals aren't as nice. They just look a little splintered, a little fuzzy here. And I have that on a couple of the Blaney Menards, the black areas. But this is sharp as can be. Super high quality. And that's why I don't like to buy decals from anybody else, to be honest with you. All right. Now we have a Josh Belicky Insurance King number 7. So I had the black background removed. And Mr. JT, yeah, this is looking good. Everything looks really good. This will be fairly straightforward with the black. And then the decals over top of the white and yellow. That's interesting. So you have the Cup Series banner here, and then you have another Cup Series here. I'm not sure why that is. Oh, what the heck? And then the fuel door. The fuel door is blank on the inside. I don't see anything. So I might have to pre-paint that like aluminum, that little circle, because this circle doesn't have... Oh, and he's got 2. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, he's got an extra fuel decal, but it's not silver on the inside. So you might have to, after you paint the car black, you have to kind of touch up that area silver and then put that circle over top of it. I mean, it's doable, not a big deal, but I've never done that before, so that should be interesting. That's a 2020 Belicky. All right, yeah, and you can see this is a little fuzzy, so maybe it's just the quality of the graphic design that he has. It's not as high quality as these other ones on some of these, but this is a Christopher Bell number 95 from last year. And, Ream/Watts. It's pretty straightforward. The car's white with the black and red decals over it. That's interesting how this is red. I haven't seen a Camry with this red here. Okay. I'll have to work on that. That'll be interesting. All right, this is, I think, outside of the Michael McDowell Daytona 500. This is probably my first 2021 scheme. This is the Forever Lawn Jeffrey Earnhardt Xfinity Camaro number 0. So I had the black background removed because, obviously that's most of the car. And then you got all this grass. You got the nice, cool, rippled American flag here in the corner. Yeah, that'll be a sharp car. That'll be a really sharp car. Do a gloss black with this green, yeah, that'll be really nice. That'll be a really nice car to make. Okay, and then I had a request for Mr. JT again for Max Payne. This is, I think, a 2012 Joey Logano GameStop car. Max Payne 3, Rockstar Games GameStop. So, I can't remember the color of this thing. Is it white? I had the white removed. I don't know. I'll have to look and see. I don't remember what the color of this car is. Maybe it's light blue. It could be light blue. But I had that main color removed, and then we'll paint it and then throw these decals on there. That should be interesting. These back trunk lid decals are always huge. See how huge that is? And when you put it on the car, before you put it on a car, you really got to trim it down, line it up. There's a lot of trimming that takes place, and I can already see I can't really trim much off because I want to make sure the Max Payne 3 stays on there. I just hope it doesn't, in my trimming, doesn't cut into this guy's eyes. I'll definitely be cutting this forehead down, but just to get it to lay on the car nicely on the die-cast body. But all in all, it's a sharp-looking decal set there. And then we have this Kyle Busch. I think this is the Heritage scheme. Yeah, American Heritage from 2015. I'm trying to think. Yeah. And this will be, I think, the Sublime Green is what I had removed. And then we'll be able to put these decals over top of it. It's a little fuzzy. I'll have to send Pato an email and just say, hey, maybe you need to clean your printer a little bit or what, because some of the decals are super, super nice and some of them just are a little fuzzy. I don't know if you can see that on the 18 there. It's just a little fuzzy around the edges. Whereas if you look at, I'll go back here in a minute. If you look at this 18, it's sharp. It's just super sharp. There's no fuzziness whatsoever. So, just something to think about. And then here's a Thank You Heroes number 54, Kyle Busch, from his Xfinity race, I think last year. Had a request, a couple people requested this scheme. Just a white car with all of the red, white, and blue and green nurse there, M&M for the Toyota Supra. So yeah, I'm trying to think if it was three or four people asked for this car. So it's pretty popular. Kyle Busch, popular guy, popular guy for sure. So, all right, guys, that is it. That's all I wanted to show you. That's what's going on. Appreciate your subscriptions. Appreciate your liking the videos, and obviously your comments as we try to make the best possible replicas of our favorite paint schemes and drivers that are out there. I love sharing this passion that I have with you. Sorry I can't produce as many as I would like, but trying to make each car as perfect as possible is what I'm after. So God bless, and take care. We will talk to you in the next video.